We are joined by Christina Iona Dragomir, a political analyst and commentator. Christina, thank you so much for joining us on WION. So it seems like Robert Kennedy is the new contender, and the second contender after Marianne Williamson, joining the Democratic race. An outsider, he's pitting himself, an anti-establishment figure indeed. And I thought it was very interesting that he gave his first interview to Fox News' Tucker Carlson last night, and he talked about his views. He believes that the U.S. shouldn't support Ukraine to the extent that it is. He has a lot of anti-vax views. So, very different from the current sitting president and the Democratic Party in general. Can you talk about this black sheep of the family, so to say?
Thank you, Susan, and thank you for inviting me here. What we see is that as an incumbent, as the sitting president, it's quite hard, not impossible, as we have seen in the past elections, to actually lose elections. And it's actually even harder to lose elections when you are in the primary, when you are the incumbent. Historically, it only happened once in 1852, and it didn't happen in modern presidency of the United States. So we see all these contenders that are coming up to the stage, to the national stage within the U.S. politics. And I think that we're going to see more and more of that. We live in a perpetual presidential race within the United States, and we see the race starting earlier and earlier, and the primary becoming very important at the national level earlier as well. With respect to the new contender, Robert Kennedy Jr., what we see right now is someone who is bringing, first of all, some important new issues to the fore. And those, I will say, that are about corporate money. So what we see from the contenders are 2 points: that there is a struggle to promote themselves against the current establishment, so to portray them as different. But after that, both Williams and Robert Kennedy Jr. have argued that what we see right now in politics is too much corporate money. And I wouldn't be surprised if that particular issue will be picked up within the national election as well, since this seems to be an issue that is one of interest. But as I said earlier, I don't think we are looking at a very serious challenge as of yet of that. So why are these contenders coming up right now? What is in the game? Well, first of all, they get a lot of publicity. We are talking about them. We are talking about them at national level, and we are talking about them at the international level as well. This is an important point for all of these new political markers. And the road to presidency is very long. Sometimes it starts few cycles before they actually know that they can win the primary elections. So I think that we right now see people who are trying to gain some political support, both within their own party and at the national level.
That's very interesting. Let's talk about Joe Biden. Many in his own party, poll after poll, believe that he just should not run again. On the other hand, there are only a handful of alternatives to the sitting president in the Democratic Party. Some people are talking about Gavin Newsom of California perhaps running, or the obvious choice, Kamala Harris, but she's nowhere to be found. Why isn't Biden announcing his candidacy?
I think this is the million-dollar question for now, Susan. Everybody is waiting for the official announcement for him to actually start the official campaign for running for president of the United States in 2024. But everybody's wondering about this, and him not announcing, it's actually creating a vacuum of power that would lead to many voices starting to come up, sometimes from the extreme corners of the party. And we would see this vacuum of power being populated with all sorts of candidates until the current president will make an official announcement about this. I think that it's almost like a sporting race where we are all watching very closely to see who are the main player. And I think that within the political realm of American public, there is this kind of a fatigue of Biden versus Trump. And you see that very many people are wondering if these two candidates are the best candidates that the parties could support. And that, I think, what would be interesting to see in this particular race is to see if anybody will be branching out and to look for the independent candidates, because this is definitely going to be a very tight race. The country is very polarized, so every vote is going to count. So depending on who are the independent candidates, they can take votes from the main candidates, from the political parties, and they can therefore tilt the elections towards one or the other. So I think it would be very important for us to keep an eye on who branches out from the two main parties as the games are being played right now.
Right. Yeah. The role of independent candidates are very important. That's very true. Christina Iona Dragomir, thank you so much for joining us on WION, and we look forward to speaking to you again very soon.
Thank you so much, Susan. My pleasure.